Hey guys, I got a new camera, so this is kind of awesome. And this is also awesome, what you see here. Yep, I got the Lego Lone Ranger Constitution Train Chase. Now, I always wanted this set for quite a long time. I think it was 2013. I wanted it for Christmas, but I didn't get it back then. But now I bought it for about 145 euros at a Lego dealer in the city of Utrecht. A2 Toys. It's a good store, and it's Lego heaven. I mean, they have plenty of different trains too. So yeah. Now I have the track built. I didn't use all the pieces from the Lone Ranger track, and I actually made a bigger track because I had some more straights left. You can see my Challenger sitting there. There's my other tank engine. And the Lone Ranger locomotive has been improved a little. And so has the prison car. So let's get into the review. Okay, so here we have the minifigures. If I sneeze in here, I do apologize. I still have a little bit of a cold. I mean, it's always a bit of a case like I have to sneeze a lot in the morning and the evening, but anyway. Let's just get on to looking at the minifigures. Here we have the Lone Ranger, and here we have Johnny Depp. Sorry, Tonto. Here we have Danny Reed. We have his mother, Rebecca Reed. Here is Butch Cavendish. Come on, why aren't you Butch Cassidy, whose real name was Robert Leroy Parker? Right beside him we have Latham Cole. And here we have Captain J. Fuller. They all look pretty nice. Rebecca is obviously a little bit of a brick. She has no leg articulation, so same for Danny. But the rest of them are basically your standard minifigures. Some of them obviously have double printed faces. I mean, basically, Tonto, Danny, Rebecca, Latham Cole, and the captain all have... No, Butch and the captain, they all have double printed faces. So they kind of have like an angry face on the back of their head. And Butch already has his angry face, as you can see. The minifigures are all like, oh nice. Danny has a crap slingshot. I do know that Danny and Tonto are kind of like your heroes of the movie. Butch is definitely the villain. Rebecca and Danny, I think, are friends, or if not family, of the Lone Ranger. But as for Latham and the captain, I'm not 100% sure. It's been a while since I've seen part of the movie. I haven't seen the entire movie, just part of it. So I do apologize on my lack of knowledge of the Lone Ranger movie, but this is not so much me being an expert on the movie, it's me more so reviewing this Lego set. Oh, sorry. And the minifigures, they're all pretty nice. With handguns and some alarm clocks. No, not so much alarm clocks. You know, just little trainmaster clocks or conductor clocks or whatever. You have a rifle. The captain also has like a little sheath for his sword. That's pretty cool. And there's quite a bit of nice detailing, especially paintwork on the hair for the captain and Butch and Tonto. Hey, Tonto even has a removable bird. His hair is a bird, so your argument is irrelevant. Sorry for that noise. Oop, and there went the Ranger. So yeah, that's the minifigs taken care of. Now let's get on to the meat and potatoes. The train. So the first thing we're going to look at is the steam locomotive that comes with the set. So it's pretty nice. It's a 460 10-wheeler, so you know, 4 pilot wheels, 6 driving wheels, no trailing wheels. It's not the greatest steam engine that Lego has ever made for an official set. I mean, that still goes to the Emerald Knight. And yeah, it's clear to see that this is a bit of a... that they had to cut quite a few corners here. And I've already technically modified the locomotive a little bit.
Then you shall die.
For instance, you may notice a black pin in the middle of the blind driving wheels, where you have beige pins in the middle of the flanged driving wheels here. Yeah, the blind driving wheels were also supposed to be fitted with these pins to connect to the frame directly, but I dislike that. I mean, that gave it a very loose and rickety thing. Let me just pop one of the flange driving wheels off. Yeah, these. I don't like that. So with the blind driving wheels, and also with the front flange driving wheels, there's room for one of these 6-stud long cross pins to be fitted in. So you can quarter the locomotive and give it more of a realistic feel. Well, you can quarter the driving wheels. So there you go. And I've already built some rods for it. I will fit those in a little bit, but for now let's just check out the rest of the detailing. It's pretty nice. A little oddity though is that you have Sensei Wu's head from Lego Ninjago. Well, no, not his head, his hat, mounted on the smokebox door, like the world's shittiest drill. Sorry. But then, right below that, we have a very nice cow catcher, which is beautifully done. Indicates that this locomotive will never be at the rear of a train, or pushing from behind, or pulling while going in reverse. So yeah, you want this to be on the front of the train. So, yeah, you're not going to be able to couple something onto here.
So be it.
Yeah, overall, nicely done. Dark green boiler for the most part. A little bit of light gray and a couple of black rings. Smokestack, pretty big and diamond shaped. Not like it's supposed to be a wood burner, even though I think it was supposed to be a coal burner in the movie. Little swinging bell, made of a couple of gold pieces. Steam dome here, with a spare gold stud on the top. You know, utilizing a few spare pieces that I had lying around. Some more gold studs, a little bit of steam piping here, and handrail. A couple of these old black levers to kind of complete the look of the pilot truck, make it look a little bit more ornamental. I don't think I have them raised up and rotated enough in, so we can kind of remedy that. And here's the pilot truck can shift a little to allow the locomotive to go around curves. So hang on while I grab a little curved piece of track. Right here. Let's see. It shifts. And then if I grab another one and connect that the other way around, like so, it shifts to the opposite side. So yeah, this locomotive can go through curvature. We have Tonto looking all worried out of the cab. And on the other side we have oh. Yeah, there she is. There's Rebecca Reed, also looking worried. Let's see if I can get a better look at the face. Yes. And the Lone Ranger is in the cab. You can just see him through the window. Well, window frame, because there are no clear pieces of plastic to look like proper windows. So yeah, full-time ventilation in the cab. It's pretty nicely done. Black and gray firebox. Little light here on the back. That's pretty cool. The cab interior, however, is quite poor. I mean, there's no firebox. There's not even like a single lever inside, which is unfortunate. Now, let me just plug the connecting rods for my locomotive on. So here we go. Get that properly oriented. There we go. Then push this big pin through the blind driving wheel. So there's that. Zoom out completely. So you might be able to see what I'm doing on the other side in case the camera didn't get what I did on the left-hand side of the locomotive where the fireman would sit. So let's do it on the right-hand side where the engineer would sit, or engine driver for the British people watching this. So connect that, boop, and then connect the big pin into the blind driving wheel. And now it's all realistically quartered. And that's still the problem with those beige pins. The wheels tend to... It basically gives the illusion of the driving wheels themselves slipping on the axles, which isn't supposed to happen. So, yeah. But hey, it doesn't end there. Those big pins in the middle are for a reason. I also created little crossheads and connecting rods. So give me a moment while I put those on. Hey, wait a minute. The smoke box was the other way around. Oh well. But anyway, here you can see it. The new and improved locomotive with fully functioning running gear. And it is quartered, so basically with the driving rod's positioned like this, well, the connecting rod on the other side, that should now be up. See? I mean, it's not the most realistic job in the world because the crosshead and the piston rod are not exactly in the middle, but it's well done enough. It gets the job done, even though these are clearly supposed to be the actual cylinder blocks of the locomotive. And in case you remember, they are on the independent swiveling pilot truck. But overall, it's a nifty engine, especially if you do some modifications to it. And this running gear modification does help to make the locomotive give a higher quality feeling, which is really, really nice. So yeah. Now I will admit that the rear of my connecting rods look a little bit suspicious. That's because I will extend this into a 484 tank engine. But anyway, seeing how we've looked at the locomotive, let's take a look at component number 2. Oh, that's a shit entrance. But yeah, the tender. And this is, yeah, I'm not going to lie, this is kind of comical because of how small the tender is. So yeah, let's put the locomotive off the track. There we go. But yeah, the tender, it's comically small though. I mean, there's some effort put into it. You have little Danny with his crap slingshot and his scared or shocked face. Yeah, it's pretty nice. Constitution on the tender. Those are stickers. There's only 5 stickers in this set. 2 Constitution nameplates for the tender. A couple of TCRR nameplates for the locomotive, which stands for Transcontinental Railroad. Duh. And then there's a 5th sticker that we'll get to in a different piece of rolling stock. But the tender, it's small. Very small. You have a little shovel. You have a little bit of coal on the top. I used quite a few spare black stud pieces to make it look like there's more coal in there than there actually is. So, you know, using my spare pieces. And it's But there's a pretty nifty gimmick when it comes to this. And there's some simplistic detailing. You have some handrails on the back. You have a place for a shovel, which can get in the way of Rebecca's skirt on the locomotive if you have her positioned there. Also depends on where the shovel is. But yeah. You have the same clunky magnet couplers. But what about that gimmick? Well, the coal load is actually a little door to the supposed water tank. And that can basically be like a little hiding spot for a minifigure. Not sure how he's going to survive there, because that's an awful lot of water to drink, and and in order to keep a steam engine properly running, they have to add some kind of chemical to prevent limescale so that the boiler won't explode, and that chemical makes sure that the water won't be drinkable. So, yeah. But I guess you could use your imagination and pretend that the engine is some sort of, has like a built-in water tank. I don't know. Use your imagination. It's a toy. Do whatever you want with it. But yeah, it's a small, pretty well done tender. If, again, comically tiny compared to the locomotive that's supposed to be attached to. I mean, it should be at least a little bit bigger. Like, you can at least give it 3 axles. Maybe make it a bit taller. Oh well. Now let's get on to the next piece of rolling stock. Okay, the track and the box have been moved a little bit because of inconveniences during previous shooting, and I accidentally deleted a previous segment, so it's about time I do that segment again as I get this piece cleaned up. So what we have here is the Gatling gun flat car. Yeah, this is pretty cool. We have Latham Kolchak chilling out there, manning the Gatling gun of sorts, with this conductor's clock and his rifle. The gun can rotate on a ratcheted turntable piece with soft, smooth, clicky, and buttery ratchet joints. You try to guess who keeps moving his fingers whenever he says buttery. But yeah, it's well done. Sorry for the fairly long silence there. Yeah, you have a gray barrel making up most of the barrel. And then most of the barrels themselves, well, the tip of the barrels are made with little binoculars. Much like with the Thunder Fury from Lego Exoforce. God, I'm feeling old. But yeah, the gun barrel can pivot up a little bit, can pivot down some more. And does rotate with this little handle on the side. Really well done. And on the car, we also have a dark brown barrel, you know, like it's supposed to be made out of wood. We have a little translucent green beer bottle, because the guys do need their beer. And then we have some silver in there. It's 2 bars and 2 crystals. And I overlapped the bars using another spare gold stud. So there's also a little bit of gold in there. I mean, I like to keep the pieces somewhat secure instead of just falling off. So yeah, have a little ladder for getting on the top, little black fences on the sides, and some gray walls. The other side looks pretty much identical. Nope, it's not quite as well meshed. But yeah, that's the Gatling gun car. It's a pretty epic piece of rolling stock. But yeah, he's definitely going to cause some line-side grass fires at this point. That's not exactly what you want in the western United States, Mr. Cole. I mean, there's no proper fire department back then. So yeah. But anyway, we have Then there's the last piece of rolling stock. The prison car. Now, this one also underwent some slight tweaking.
Then you shall die.
What I did was I moved these lanterns more to the side instead of the front/rear to act as a natural stopping point for the doors. See? That way the doors won't fly off, and they just keep going. I mean, they just stop there. They won't just keep going and fly off from the car. And there's already a bit of a stopping point here at the rear, so that's cool. The roof is a little bit asymmetric. We notice a peculiar little Lego Technic bar here, and a wall with dynamite. Well, this car also features the first of 3 explosive features. So I pull the lever and boom! The wall comes flying out, which reveals our 5th and final sticker, which is basically showing how long Mr. Butch Cavendish has been stuck inside the prison car. 5, 10, 15, 20, 25, 28 days, or weeks, or months. Must have been a friggin' hell if he's been stuck in here for 28 years. Must be getting claustrophobic at that point. But, yeah, the doors do open. It's a pretty nice looking car. You have a little, you have prison bars here at the other end. You also have prison bars in here. And then when we open up the doors, we find a peculiar fish woman who isn't supposed to be in the set. And yes, this car will make a terrible refrigeration car. So, Ariel, you're not going to survive in there for much longer, despite your very happy smile. Mermaids not included in the set, ladies and gentlemen. It's just me being a little bit goofy. Bought her separately on the same day. But yeah, there's enough room in here for a few Lego minifigures to stand. Again, Mrs. Fishy could stand in there pretty well because there's just enough room for her tail. But yeah, we can also take some of the roof off. Here's on the hope that I don't get those black railings off for the doors. And what you know what I just did. Dang it. So, yeah. I hate that. Then we might as well just take this wall off. And look, here's the prison door. And then we see Cavendish just chilling out. And, yeah, he's already having his angry face on since the beginning of the review. Though we can rotate his head around to expose a slightly fresher, but still grizzled looking guy with a devious smirk. Like I mean business. Yeah. Now let's just put the car back together. Let's give him his older angry face on here where he started to grow a bit of a beard. Because apparently some women like beards. So pop him in there. Close the door. Pop this wall on here. Build the roof again. Put one door on here. Come on. Come on. There we go. It's like this car is as tough as the guy it's supposed to hold. God damn it. Sorry for that, in case I have religious viewers. And plug that on. Take the other door. Attach it with the lock facing towards the prison bars on the prison bar end. Come on. Come on. Come on, man. Come on. There we go. And add that little roof tile. And boom, the prison car is completed again. Oh. So yeah, it's a fun piece of rolling stock. But wait, there's more. And no, it's not the Challenger locomotive in the background or my 240 tank engine here. There's more stuff that comes with this set, which includes this pretty big water tower with a little tap system that I just plugged on there for reasons. You know, like there has to be some way to get the water in there. And the water deployed from the spout. Let's extend the tripod. So there we go. And here we have Captain J. Fuller again, with his angry face. He's holding a gun, which he isn't supposed to hold actually, but screw it. Now I'm just rotating his head around. So here he is with the normal face on. Yeah. But the water tower, it's pretty well done. Don't look at the Challenger. Oh, frick. Don't look at the Challenger locomotive. Look at the water tower. But yeah, it's basically just a wooden barrel here on a little platform with some support struts. And hey, look at that. More dynamite. And look at that, there's a little lever. So what happens if we pull that lever? Explosion feature number 2. The water tower falls over. Now the roof is supposed to come off. Well, not the actual barrel. The roof is supposed to come off. And inside you find 4 of these pieces in clear blue plastic. You know, to look like water. That's pretty nicely done. It's supposed to be to be plugged on there loosely, but I just give it a good push so it stays in there solidly. That way you won't lose the pieces. And I did, and again I also expanded with this. I mean, there's a little extra support here, just for the sake of more stability. It does plug on there, and it holds okay, but it's still easy enough to activate the explosion feature. So it's a good 50-50. It's sturdy enough to keep the water tower in place, and it's easy enough to, but it's still loose enough to make the water tower fall over should you use the explosion feature. And again we have a little spout on a plastic ratchet. So that's fun. And then finally, over there we have a little rock piece with some more dynamite, because we can never have enough dynamite in this set. And yet, here comes explosion feature number 3. And here's a brick separator, which I don't really see the purpose of, really. I mean, I don't know how it works, so yeah. But yeah, explosion feature number 3, air not included. You flick the switch and it breaks the rock open, and it's supposed to flail these pieces onto the track, but it does a beautiful job of going sideways to make sure the train still has a wonderfully clear track so that it can chug along the tracks. Track and tracks. Yeah, don't do a drinking game, guys. But yeah, that's basically the Lone Ranger train set in a nutshell. So hang on while I get everything together here. Okay, so the final opinion on this set. Is it perfect? Well, there are a few rough edges here and there, especially when it comes to the locomotive, if you don't have custom rods for it that you built yourself or printed. But yeah, overall it's a very, very nice set. It's really well done. Oh, and I just realized that I forgot to talk about the horse for the Lone Ranger. It's nice that you have display options. You can just fill out the back here, or you can have a little seat like this inside the gap and have him ride. That's pretty cool. But yeah, overall, it's a very, very well done set. It's not the best Lego steam engine set of all time, but it's definitely a lot of fun. And there's a lot of gimmickry when it comes to the set. I mean, the 3 explosive features. I mean, come on, you can unleash your inner Michael Bay with that if you have one, and if you even like Michael Bay, which I assume not many people do. But yeah, it's a lot of fun. I'm sorry if I keep repeating myself, but it just is. The locomotive does look pretty nice. The tender looks comically small for it, but still, you have a pretty good selection of minifigures, and I actually like that they actually closed off the top of the heads on them. Let me just give you the Lone Ranger, for example. They actually closed off the studs on the heads. That's pretty nice. I think that's something Lego still continues to do to this day, or at least does so with human-colored minifigs. But yeah. Overall, I do recommend the set. It gets a solid 8.5 out of 10. It will take you quite a bit of time to build, especially if you have extra pieces already made for it in advance. But overall, this is a set that's definitely worthy of being in your Lego collection, especially if you're a train enthusiast. Because come on, you get a locomotive, you get a tender, you get 2 pieces of rolling stock, you get a track, you get friggin' scenery. And you can see my feet there because I'm lying on the ground right now. So yeah. So that's it for this review. I'll do some more reviews of my own Lego locomotives in a bit. And I also have plans for a couple of top 10/20 videos on actual steam engines. So be sure to have a look out for that. Until next time, I'll see you later. Oh, and one more final thing. Because I cannot stress it enough. Red-headed fish sold separately. Goodbye.